let's say a cell is a house.
Mm-hmm.
Peptides are the brick and the mortar and the lumber
and
that you build the house.
Of the body. Yeah, every cell in the body has a peptide. We might want to think about that. It's kind of important.
It would seem.
You know what I mean? So again, and there's also 40 peptide hormones. Estrogen, proestrogen. Men said, well, I don't want that. Well, no, you need it for healthy sperm and joint pain relief. Human growth hormone, peptide hormone. Testosterone, peptide hormone. Endorphins, peptide hormone. So when our peptides are down, our hormone levels, those 40 hormone levels, start lowering also because they don't have the fuel to fuel those hormones, which are so important. Hormones are the sap of the body.
So was it Joe Cocker that you were like, I got to figure out something
that I Joe Cocker. It all started with Joe Cocker.
That was the genesis of GenoStim.
And so I did it, and I was able to start thinking about a peptide source, and then I was able to work with a couple other people, and we were able to actually do this. So I created the Coca-Cola formula, the ingestible peptide, not injectable peptides.
Right.
The Russian love injectables. Guy Metzger is a huge fan of injectable peptides, and he's really good and knows what he's doing. But I don't want to do an injectable, number one. I want an ingestible, and we wanted to make it at 5,000 Daltons, which is the atomic weight, which means it's so small that sublingually, as soon as you eat it, it doesn't even go through the stomach. It immediately goes directly into the blood.
We were talking about the Russians, too, before we sat down. So explain what they were doing that we didn't know they were doing that was that was putting them light years in front of all of our athletes, and then how you bottled that for animals first and then for humans after.
And I got a funny story about the Garden Police Department too.
Really? Fire it off, man. Fire it off.
So in the book, you can actually read about what the Russians are doing. Now, the Russians were having a problem with their military because their military was aging faster. Let's face it, that's the Russians again, but they do drink a lot as part of who they are. And so they were losing these officers and their pilots and stuff like that. And I need to be able to keep these men on the job longer. So they started working with peptides. So the Russians were light years ahead of us in peptides. So again, when we got back to the Olympics and the Russians used to kick our rear end, and everybody thought it was steroids, but they could never trace it. You know why? Because they were doing peptides. Okay,
wow.
Instant growth factor 1 and 2, connective tissue growth factors, epidermis growth factors, fibroblast growth factors, and stuff like that. So you can rejuvenate a lot faster than a person who is not on peptides. So if I'm taking peptides and I'm in the gym and you're not, I'm going to rejuvenate and recover faster than you can on the cellular level. So so that's what the Russians were actually doing. So, but we wanted an ingestible. So we had to find a kosher protein source that had the naturally occurring growth factors in it also. And so I was able to help do that. And so I've been doing it now for 20 years.
When you're introducing peptides back into your system for performance enhancement, whether it's for a human or for a canine.
Or sexual enhancement or brain function. Neural factors are fantastic.
All performance.
Yeah.
Is that offsetting this really high stress lifestyle that a lot of us lead, where our cortisol levels are spiking, then plummeting, and then sometimes dropping below even the baseline level?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's all about bringing the endocrine system back into homeostasis. And homeostasis, everybody out there, is just a fancy word. It means balance. Why don't we just say balance? But we got to come up with homeostasis. It makes it sound smarter. But again, it's all about hormonal balancing, but at optimal, youthful, or useful levels. So again, these peptides have been in my blood for 20 years, right? And so I've had optimal, youthful, useful hormone levels in my body for 20 years. I've also trained and stuff like that. So people, argue with me that I'm 63, and they want to argue with me about it. I said, okay, well, maybe I'm not seriously 63 on the cellular level, but on the days that I've walked this earth, I'm 63, but they're 10 and 20 years younger than me, but they look older. They don't have the energy levels, and they're taking little blue Viagra pills, and they just don't understand their life's falling apart. Well, with men, testosterone levels do start going down at the age of 29. What do we do about that? Well, we exercise. It'll increase testosterone. We eat proper diets. You have to invest in yourself instead of just giving up and going to alcohol or going to pills or just giving up. Well, I haven't given up. I'm still living my life. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make an announcement here on your show.
Oh.
That no one knows about.
Really?
This is going to be, I'm going to do it. And because I'm very happy. But I'm 63 years old. I have a son who's 11. And Lauriston Crockett IV. He's got that lineage. He'll keep it going. But no one knows about this until right now. But I'm going to be a father in October.
What?
63. I'm still having children.
Brother, so congrats. That's amazing.
I'm so stoked. It just gives me chills. Matter of fact, when I leave your show today, I'll be heading straight over to the doctor for a sonogram. Maxton Lee Crockett the first.
Maxton, love it.
Will be here in October.
Wow.
And so, my son, Maxton, will be here. And so Maxton, Lauriston comes from the Lauriston Castle in Edinburgh. So we're Scottish, English, and Irish. So I had to find another Scottish name. So it comes from the Tower of Maxton and the lands of Maxton. So he's still got his Scottish heritage. And now he's the first, so he can start his lineage with his family. So my child is on the way. He is one healthy peptide baby too.
Wow, that's awesome.
He is moving and grooving.
And obviously you're not shooting blanks.
No. And I'm not using blue pills and nothing happens. My sexual reproduction has not changed at all.
Wow.
Nothing's changed.
That's almost unbelievable. So we have talked just a couple of times before we came on. Actually, today's the first time I ever met you in person.
Met in the parking lot.
Yeah, I've used GenoStim Pro for years. Found you on the ticket. We talked about that already. We're seeing so many of these low T centers. Well, and we got pellets, we got gels.
Let's go back also to the police department. So the Garland Police Department, I was working with their canine unit out there. And the SWAT team started stealing the bottle of the canine product because they saw that the growth factors and peptides in it.
Really?
And they called me, and I said, what are you guys doing? Are you guys stealing the dog product? They went, Crockett, we want these growth factors and peptides. I went, all you had to do is ask me. I created GenoStim. They said, what's that? I said, that's the human version of this, so you don't have to eat grilled onions along with the beef liver flavor of the Gift for Life. And so I pulled up in Garland and said, hey, meet us at the parking lot. And when I pulled up, I got surrounded by SWAT officers and lieutenants and everybody who wanted the peptides. That's a true story. It happened in Garland, Texas. So that's how we kicked off.
That's amazing. Yeah. So this supplement is there to replace depletion, but it's also the peptides are also depletion. It's also helping you recover. Well, so if you deplete yourself through a strenuous training session, then your body and your natural hormone levels, they're trying to bring you back, but then you add the GS6 or the Pro, and that just amps up your ability to recover faster, so that you're working out with 29-year-olds, and then you're back in there.
You're giving fuel to your peptide hormones.
Okay,
and then your peptide hormones talk to every cell in your body, and the difference between GenoStim GS6 and GenoStim Pro is I made GenoStim GX first. Okay, this is my first product that I came out with, and then I started working with different SEAL teams. And I started working with Chris Kyle. I don't bring his name up very much. What a neat guy.
I bet.
Most down-to-earth person I've ever met in my life. And he was taking GenoStim, and guys and gals everywhere. And, of course, I got on 1310 the ticket and started doing that. But what was happening was with GenoStim GS6, it's only 100 milligrams per tablet. And so body mass wise, if you get over 175 pounds, like I'm 180, I keep 180. And what are you pushing?
275.
Okay. So anyway, because of body mass, you needed more peptides. So my guys were saying, hey, Crockett, man, we're having to buy 2 bottles to really get our body mass. I went, okay, well, let's do something about that. So I came out with Pro, which has 150 milligrams per tablet at the size of an aspirin.
Yeah, it is. Very small.
And it's very easy to take. And you take it twice a day. And the reason you take it twice a day is because the peptide only stays in the blood for 8 to 12 hours. So to stay in, there's that word again, homeostasis, 1 in the morning with or without food. You take that peptide on an empty stomach and you don't feel anything because it's so natural. Unlike vitamins and minerals and stuff like that, you can't do it.